Well, howdy, my friends. As the sign says, welcome to fabulous Las Vegas. And even though we don't have our own sign, welcome to the Fabulous Food and Loathing Podcast. Coming to you from the super fabulous Arts District. Specifically, to one of its most fabulous restaurants. A place that helped make this neighborhood one of the hottest in Las Vegas. We are coming to you from Main Street Provisions. Yes, I can all hear you all clapping out there because you all fucking love Main Street Provisions. And if you don't, you're going to by the end of the day. I am your host, Al Mancini, joined by my friend and colleague, Bob Barnes. My usual co-host and engineer, Gemini Stevens, continues to float around Europe, drinking and eating her way through the countries of many, many lands. She's doing her own little Epcot, but in the real Europe, so she's having fun out there. And Rich is in Seattle. He's going to fix all the mistakes I make because I'm not good at engineering my own shows. I just like to tell people what I'm not good at right up at top. But we're incredibly excited to be here at Main Street Provisions, just as new chef Miguel Tapia is officially taking the reins in the kitchen. We have Chef Miguel here today. We also have the creator of Main Street Provisions, the founder, the owner, the overall creative force, and the woman whose vision has helped it shape the identity of the Arts District, my friend Kim Owens. Hello, Kim. Hello, Bob.
Hello. I have to say I did not mind at all when you asked me if I would come to Main Street Provisions instead of taping at your house.
Yeah, this is way better than my house. It's absolutely better than my
Nothing
house.
Against your house, but I mean, I just get a glass of water at your place, and this I think we'll get a little bit more.
Food's going to magically appear.
All right.
We're definitely going to get a lot more. Kim, just say hi again.
Hi.
Okay, there we go. We got you on there. I'm looking at all the little things. Rich, I don't know what I'm doing. Thanks for having us down, Kim.
So glad to have you here.
It's like super cool to find. I can't believe I've been doing this podcast for just about 5 years. You've had this restaurant for just about 5 years.
A little over, yeah.
I don't know how it's possible that we've never done. I mean, I've been down here to record segments of it for you, but I've never been down here to actually record a whole episode. And that's insane because like all of your chefs have been like people that I love and that are great people. And so thanks for having us.
I'm so happy to have you here. Really am. And you're here now, so it doesn't matter.
Right. That's it, man. The past doesn't matter.
Nope.
Okay, what do we got going on today? Big show this week. In about 20 minutes, we'll be joined by Chef Miguel, who's going to bring out some food. I'm going to turn the page. He and Kim are going to talk to us. We have interviews with Bryce Krausman and Gina Marinelli talking about their brunch collaboration. We caught up with Eric Gladstone at Vegas Unstripped. We've got Clique Hospitality's Craig O'Keefe at a Tailgate Day Club preview. And I think this week we're going to give you just a little taste of next week's extended interview with Vincent Rotolo of Good Pie. And of course, we have food news. And we have Bob sharing beer news. And Andrew Morgan with Happy Hour News. That's a lot of shit, man. But first, I'd like to run down some cool things for you to do over, say, the next week or so. These are taken from our culinary event calendar, and I would send you over there just to check it out all the time. But if you don't think we have good shit over there, let's just say this thing's dropping on a Friday, right? So tomorrow for you guys, Saturday, May 2nd, look at the things that are on our calendar. You have a choice between a Kentucky Derby party at Circa, an Indian food festival downtown, and an all-you-can-eat Wagyu and bluefin meal at Kayara. Bob also wrote about those this week.
Yes, I did.
And that day, you're going to have your choice tomorrow, Saturday, May 2nd, 4 different wine events that we have listed. So, yeah, there's also all kinds of shit going on. Tuesday, wine dinner at Ferraro's. We have the ongoing Alinea and Aviary residencies at Bellagio. We have, of course, ongoing residencies by Tyler Florence. Jeez, Tyler Vorse over at Durango Social Club. So go check that out. Okay, we'll see how we like having that up front. Hopefully you got excited. Okay, we're now ready to, I just skim over the parts I don't like. La, 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 what was I thinking when I wrote that? Blah, 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 blah. Look, let's move on to the part of the show that we tell you about the great meals we've been enjoying. Kim, you are our guest this week. I know you spend most of your time here. So when you get the chance to get out, to go out, and it's not just sitting in front of Netflix and chill with frozen pizza or whatever you do at home, where do you go out to eat? Have you had any good restaurant experiences recently?
I do spend most of my time here, but when I do go out, we have some little standbys that we go to. Saturday nights, generally, Alan and I work service here at the restaurant at Main Street. And then after service, we usually try to find a place where we can just go hang out, grab a bite, kind of review the night. And then that way, when we get home, there's no more work talk. It's just personal life. So Saturday night, late night, one of our regulars is Shang Artisan Noodle. I mean, who doesn't love Shang Artisan Noodle? I
Yeah.
love it there. So just some dumplings and, so,
Which location?
The one on Flamingo.
Okay.
Yeah, the one on Flamingo is just between here and home, so it's easy. But it's also just consistent. Food's always exactly what I expect it to be. Service is efficient. The food was great this time as usual. So just your usual, a little fried rice, a little of this, a little of that. So that was Saturday night. And it's just
Okay.
a quick dinner. But then Sunday night, we actually had a night to go out. So after I left the restaurant Sunday night, we went to a place we'd not been to, Elia. And
Yeah,
Greek
Elia
place.
is on. It's on Neon Feast. Is one of the best Greek restaurants in Las Vegas. I've only been there once or twice, so I don't have enough of an opinion on it. But I know like all of my friends love it, and and I'm mediocre on it because I haven't been enough. So should I go back?
I think you should. We had a great experience from the warm greet we got at the front door. I'm big on hospitality. It's not just about the food only. I will go back to a restaurant if I receive great hospitality, great service, and great energy in the dining room. It was a little quieter. It was Sunday night at 8 o'clock. So, it's a little quieter in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
But the warmth and the hospitality, met the owners, enjoyed some great food, and it was just a great experience. The cocktail was good. The wine selection was great. The food was spot on. It was everything I expected it to be. So we had the saganaki, which I just love. Cheese. I mean, come on, cheese.
Yeah, right.
That's one of the things that's always in my fridge. We had the salmon tartare. We had the lamb souvlaki. We didn't go too heavy into the menu because it's Sunday night at 8 o'clock. I generally don't eat that heavy late at night.
Right.
But I'll tell you, it was exactly what I expected. The deconstructed souvlaki, the lamb souvlaki, is almost like a deconstructed hero. So it was
Really?
but with grilled lamb instead of the shredded. So it was just really nice, approachable. The zucchini chips were just a great snack to get started with.
Cool.
So we had a great time.
That's awesome. I love to hear you describe your experience, right? Because I feel like we are in an age where people feel like if they're going to eat out at a restaurant and talk about it, they generally want to talk about it like they're an Olympic judge trying to come up with the difference between 9.7 and a 9.8, right? And like mark you down for all little things. And I've hung out with a lot of chefs who do that to each other's food all the time. But you're not doing that. You're talking about the overall, the package of what it is. And to me, that's it. I mean, every last aspect of the food is super, super important. The hospitality is super important. But it's really, how did you feel when you went in there? Was it enjoyable to have the company of the people that you went with? Does it serve its purpose? Did it clear out space in your day so that you could do what you went there to do, which is relax? And I love that that's your approach to restaurants.
It's my approach to Main Street Provisions. It's my approach to when I go out. Alan and I, my husband Alan and I, have talked about it forever. We will go back to a restaurant that has really good food, but amazing hospitality and an overall incredible experience before we'll go to a place that has incredible food, some of the best bites I've ever had. But maybe they miss the mark on the hospitality. Maybe they miss the mark on the service. To me, it has to be warm. It has to be welcoming. It has to be a place that when I'm walking out, I think, wow, I want to go back and see these folks again.
Yeah, absolutely. The food has to be great, but that's just one part of the experience. It really is, and I think people need to remember that and appreciate the experience you're having there. Don't look for reasons to be mad at things. So many people go out to restaurants. Bob, how do you go out to a restaurant? You go out and dissect it as if like you're judging it for the Olympics?
Not at all. I just go to relax and have a good time, and I'm really not that critical. But I hate it when people go to a restaurant and find one thing they didn't like, and then they decide they have to trash the place.
Yeah, it's fucking stupid. If you're looking for like the exact perfect experience, you're never going to get it. I mean, read Plato's allegory of the cave or something, man. Like that perfect meal's not out there. But we want to get as close as we can to it. But if you spend all your time just tearing things apart and looking for little things that wouldn't normally get in the way of your experience, then you're just a fucking idiot. And if you're spending good money on that so that you could just prove that you're smarter than the people in the kitchen, there's just too much of that going on. So, I mean, look, it's your money. If that's how you'd like to spend it, have a blast. But, just tip well. That's all I have to say.
No doubt.
Bob, man, where have you been dining lately?
I got a long list, but I'll try to keep it succinct. Most recently, my wife Lolly and I went to Sam Marvin's Echo and Rig at the district at Green Valley Ranch. He has this monthly special. It's on Mondays. I don't know what particular Monday, but once a month, $55. You get a 3-course meal, salad, main, dessert. We went last week and had steak and lobster, and it wasn't just a little tiny piece of lobster tail. It was the claws too, and a really good steak. And the month before that, they had a Wagyu steak. So
that Wagyu was really good that month. I didn't actually taste it, but I was looking at it. It was an actual 100% full-blood Wagyu that was raised in America from a new producer. So he was able to get 200 of them in at at a really good deal, and it was a pretty beautiful steak.
Well, Chef Sam told me that Monday's their slowest day, so it makes sense to do something like that. And the place, both ones they've done have been sold out, so it's working for them.
Kim, are there days of the week that are better days to go out to restaurants that you're going to find better deals because they're slow days, like this Monday thing? Are there in the industry? Are you guys like all focusing on the same days of the week, trying to come up with something cool to do?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, you look at your Sundays and Mondays, unless it's convention season in Las Vegas, which convention season is always going to be your Sundays, your Mondays, your Tuesdays. So if you're close enough in proximity to all of what is considered Las Vegas, what everybody thinks Las Vegas is, then you get the benefit of that on the Sundays and Mondays. I've worked a lot of Mondays this year. Cool. A lot.
Sorry to interrupt you, Bob. So tell me more.
Okay. Well, I know it's been talked about on this podcast a bit, but I went to Hayworth. And
you're a big Alex Resnick fan, right?
I sure am. And I don't know if I should call him son or brother or what, because he told me I'm family now.
There you go.
But anyway, it's at the new, it's the old 138 Degrees location at Stephanie and Horizon. But Alex Resnick, people know him from TV, Top Chef, beat Bobby Flay, which he did. And also I love the director of ops, Gene Samuel, a really great guy. He's been in the business forever.
Man, I remember reporting on Gene Samuel years and years and years ago for Vegas 7 with his Black Tiger barbecue company. And I even went to a Super Bowl party that he did with that barbecue in the Sand Dollar Lounge parking lot one year, which was pretty cool.
That was really good.
Yeah,
He's
right?
Gene,
Gene's
the
been
dancing
around for a
machine,
while,
man. He's great. I love Gene.
Great guy. But back to Hayworth, this restaurant is personal to Chef Alex. I mean, even the name of the restaurant is the name of the street where his first child was born when they lived in L.A. And also they got established in 1976 on the menu the year he was born. But also the menu is personal. It's all from his Eastern European and Jewish heritage. But what I love to see is he uses ingredients you don't often see, like beef tongue, agnolotti, which Alex told me is an underused meat, not enjoyed by the upper class. He has the traditional challah knot. Is that how you say it, challah? But
I don't believe it. I got to see your notes.
Challah knot bread with schmaltz, which is chicken fat.
Oh, the challah?
Challah bread, yeah.
Challah,
Yeah.
Sorry. And sable fish, which is black cod, melted in your mouth, just like Chilean sea bass does. And he's got a chicken Hungarian paprikash style, which is sweet paprika infused. And I love risotto. I had farro risotto. Whoever thought to make risotto out of farro?
Yeah, farro's a good grain.
Farotto. Yeah, it's
But
delicious.
he's got all these fine steaks, but really I don't really view it as a steakhouse. I view it as a kind of everything place with all kinds of interesting ingredients. So I can't rave enough about Hayworth. And as we were leaving, he and his wife Lori gave us hugs and said, "We're family now." So
All right, man. Very cool. Where else you been?
I just recently went to Siena Italian Trattoria and Deli. This is at the west end of Village Square. It's a big operation. They got a restaurant, a deli, a bakery, and a market. So all these things go in there. And the person that is behind it all is Giancarlo Bomparola. He's a native of Milan. He's been in the business since he was 11 years old. The Siena was originally at Tropicana and Eastern like forever.
Yeah, I
and
remember.
Then he came in and bought the place and revamped it and relocated in 2010 to where it's at now. But it's just really cool having a native Italian making everything. But you can go in there and my wife did. She spent a lot of money in that market buying all this
I was going
stuff.
to ask, is it a good market for buying Italian groceries? Because usually those little Italian delis, you can get some good ingredients in there.
Well, almost everything in there is imported from Italy. Tinned fish, olives, canned tomatoes, traditional Italian desserts, olive oil, balsamic vinegar, anything you'd want for cooking Italian. But they also they bake their own bread there. They make sandwiches.
Nice.
To go. And then they have a restaurant, too, that serves all these great stuff. Like one of my favorite things I had was zuppa de pesce. Had clams, scallop, shrimp, fish, and lobster, and a tomato fish stock broth. And that was tremendous. But the chef Giancarlo is just a great guy. Oh, I also forgot to mention they have 12 flavors of gelato. So Lolly was happy about that.
Okay, we're running on time, but I see you got La Madre Canyon Grill. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah,
or
I went
is there
there.
another one you want to tell us about instead?
No, that's fine. We went there just last week. It's at Flamingo and the 215 in the Target Center by Huckle Hospitality.
Huckle Hospitality.
Huckle.
Yes.
I'm mispronouncing everything today.
That's okay, man.
But their head chef Lupe Avila, a CIA Hyde Park graduate. So the place is very classy. You wouldn't expect it in a strip mall. It looks like a neighborhood sports bar, but it's really nicely decorated and classy. But he's got a little bit of everything. He's got hamachi crudo, kimchi Brussels sprouts, Sunday meatballs, birria beef tacos, which are excellent. And right now, this is unbelievable. They have all their steaks are half price all the time. Well, for dinner.
Yeah.
So you can get an 8-ounce skirt steak, normally $39, $27. You get a fillet 8-ounce,
Okay, that's
normally
not
$60
half.
for $30. Oh, that one wasn't quite
I'm
half.
just doing the little math in my head.
I might have written that down wrong,
Okay.
actually. 14-ounce New York for regular $56 for $28. So
Yeah,
that's a limited time
No,
special.
I'm looking at all your other ones. All the math comes out, so maybe you just wrote that
Yeah,
first one wrong.
I think I did.
Okay, but no, that's awesome.
Wow.
And actually, and they got a good whiskey selection right there.
Oh yeah, they had over 50 whiskeys, so I like that kind of stuff.
Gotta love that.
Some of my favorites like Whistle Pig, Boss Hog, and a new one I'd never had before that Chef Lupe shared with me, Caribou, which is a Canadian single malt.
Interesting. I'm wondering if that's the Canadian I was drinking at a whiskey event I went to recently. I rarely taste Canadian whiskeys. Anyway, before I digress, Chef Lupe over there is a fantastic chef, and people may know him from Hubert Keller's kitchens. He ran Hubert Keller's kitchens at Mandalay Bay for a while there, so he has that fine French pedigree. He knows what he's doing. He's worked with the best of the best, and he brings that all out to the neighborhoods there at La Madre.
Yep. And like I said, it's you would not expect until you walk in that it's such a nice looking, classy place.
Cool. Okay, Bob. Give me the 1 minute version of whatever you had next.
I was also going to talk about a place that you and I went to, Al, Amada Modern
Thai. Yeah, you and I went there and had a great fucking meal.
And you interviewed the chef and one of the partners, but it just I was really impressed that almost everything on that menu was under $20, and it really, they're not trying to be fine dining, but it felt like the food tasted like fine dining, but not at the price.
That's over on Rainbow by the Spring Mountain Hospital. I think it's about a block where I dropped my car off today to be repaired. So maybe I'll go over there when I'm waiting to see what's wrong with Sue's car.
Yeah.
Is that it? Does that bring us to me? Because I know we've got a chef waiting to bring us out some food very, very shortly.
Sure thing. Go ahead.
I don't want to keep him waiting too much. Where have I dined? I didn't eat there because it's not open yet, but I got a preview tour of the new Good Pie location at Red Rock Resort, and I have to tell you, so much fun touring there with Vinny, Vincent Rotolo. call him Vinny. I don't feel like bad about that. Everybody calls him Vincent. I was the first person who ever saw his Pawn Plaza restaurant the day he got the keys. I was the first person that saw the interior, media people, that saw the interior of his place right next door to here. I think I may have been the first media person who saw Henderson. So for him to invite me in to see behind the scenes, like, you know, I'm sure he did an interview with like the other big, you know, papers before that, and that's fine. But for him to say, no, I want you to come in, I want you to keep up this tradition, I want to tour the place. He's showing me the details that he's putting into this stuff. I mean, he's trying to match the tile from the other restaurants. He's trying to match it. It's just, he gives a fuck. Vincent Rotolo gives such a fuck about the entire experience. As we were saying, this is a food court pizza place, right? And yet he cares that it represents the brand in so many ways. So that's really awesome. Oh man, we got food just starting to come out.
Oh,
Chef,
no way.
Set that down over on that side, if you don't mind. And then I'm going to ask you to come over here and describe it. And then I'm going to wrap up this little piece and take a break and have a couple bites. But you don't even need to bother miking yourself up. You could just come use my microphone, Chef. Okay, what do we got?
Alrighty, so today we have 14-ounce New York, which is going to be broiled, charred. On the bottom is going to have a roasted broccolini with sun-dried tomatoes, a little bit of garlic slice, and around it is going to have a little bit of arborole sauce, which is homemade also. In the other side, we have a pan-seared half chicken. So a crisp skin, golden brown, harissa, infused baby carrots, a little bit of parsley pesto, and some cashew puree. And on the other side, we have a broiled char octopus. So our Spanish octopus, we season it with a little salt and pepper. It's going to have a light coat of citrus panko. It's going to go right on the broiler. It's going to have a nice char finished in the oven. On the bottom is going to be our tomato broth with some leeks, garbanzos, garlic, shallots, a little bit of lemon juice. Super fresh, super light, and a little croustiness to go with it.
Okay, man, it looks amazing, Chef, and we are going to be having you come back to talk all about it. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. I already have, like, things I want to ask you about, just the way that it's laid out in the presentation and all of that fun stuff. But right now, I'm taking a picture of it before we start eating it. But I'm going to say, Chef, we're going to get back. We're going to wrap this portion of the show up. I'm going to talk a bit more about where I've been dining. And then about 10 minutes, if it's okay with you, I'd love to have you come out and talk more about everything that we're doing here. Is that cool?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm taking my pictures. These are just the, you know, when you guys see me pictures of what I do on location, you know that they were done really, really quickly. So anyway, we were talking about Vinny Rotolo, and Vinny's fantastic. I've got a whole long interview that I'm going to play with him next week, play from him next week. But here's just a little clip of it to kind of get you in the mood. What made you decide that you wanted to do something in a casino?
I think it's the community of Summerlin and where we just are in the world. You know, in the world of eating, in the world of just like what's happening within hospitality, you know, we're evolving and things are changing. And this community has changed the way that they want to eat. And, you know, 10 years ago, the food options in Summerlin are very different. And so this is one of the most exciting communities in Las Vegas. And we wanted to just be able to meet the community where they're at with the new concept that we're launching, because it's a different version of Good Pie.
So Sue has been working over at the Uncommons development recently. I joined her there after work. It's like 2 minutes from my house, so it's kind of good. Like, we've both been working out of the house together, and sometimes it's just nice to get a little space. And the dog doesn't know what to do, right? But so she's over there. So I met her after work, and we went to the happy hour at General Admission, which is their sports bar in there. And everybody was in there really excited about the NFL draft. I've got no idea what they're doing. Just fucking sports that I don't understand. But we had some nice bites. We had some Tokyo Tots from their happy hour menu. Look, I love tater tots, and these were done with nori and togarashi, sesame seeds, a bunch of sushi roll sauces that I kind of thought, like, do you really want spicy mayo and a little bit of eel sauce and all of that? But you know what? All of that together gave it a little bit of a Japanese feel, right? It gave it it was a fucking tater tot. That's what it was. It was a bar food tater tot, but it had those hints of Japanese dining. So I really enjoyed that. We got a trio of their sliders from the happy hour menu over there. there as well. I forget the price, but everything's really good. All 3 of the sliders, different types, all good. Would go back. Good place to watch sports. It's nice to add something over on the west side. So I'm not always in the George at the Durango, which is where I usually go to watch VGK games when I don't have tickets. But my big one, and I want to know if any of you guys have been here, Donbori by Chef Jay. Donbori by Chef Jay. Everybody is talking about this place. Have you been there, Bob?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Have you heard of it, Kim?
I've heard of it, and I know Chef Jay from Test Kitchen days. I believe she was at the Test Kitchen for a little while, right?
Is that where I know her
I
from?
think so,
Hey,
yeah.
she used to be at Mizumi for a while.
She's
and
done a bunch of pop-ups. She's unbelievable.
She is amazing.
Wow.
She's taking taking Japanese to just a more elevated than what you get in the neighborhoods, right? It's going to be a little more expensive than what you pay at your corner sushi place. And I'm one of these guys that when it comes to sushi, I will go to an all-you-can-eat place and I'll expect all-you-can-eat quality, and then I will go to another place and I'll spend 5 times as much and I'll expect 5 times as much quality. I can tell the difference. A lot of people can tell the difference. This is a place where you will pay a little more, but you're going to be able to tell the difference. And everybody is buzzing about it. It's over there on the southwest. It's on Rainbow as well, I think. So maybe Buffalo. Might be on Buffalo. Anyway, check it out. I'm out there. Sue and I went outside to smoke a little weed before we sat down, and I saw Richard Camerata's wife and child walk right by, so I was a bad influence on a child before I got even in there. But it was great to see Chef Richard Camerata was in there with his family dining, and this is everybody that I talk to, just people that I know about food. They keep just posting pictures from this joint, and it is really, really fantastic. Again, not cheap. Uni toast, which comes on house-made brioche, creme fraiche, chives, Hokkaido sea urchin. Very important to me this time of year. I'm not eating Santa Barbara. So if you're a snooty asshole like me, you recognize the difference between what months you want Japanese sea urchin, what months you want American. These guys know what they're doing. They were 2 small bites, or maybe they could have been 2 bites each, so 4 bites, and $39. So, it is not cheap, but it's good, really good. We did a mushroom medley with soy-cured egg yolk, which actually wasn't listed on the menu, but that was the main thing that I got out of it. And they mix it together at the table. Fantastic. Some A5 truffle Wagyu goiza. They hand fold them there. They make them from scratch. Beautiful. 4 for $24 on that one, by the way. The uni toast I mentioned. And then you could get the omakase of nigiri or of chirashi or of the one that I eat all the time, sashimi.
Sashimi.
There we go. Sorry, man. I am just out of it today. So we ordered that, the sashimi plate. We shared that. It was $90. We got 6 different fish, about 3 slices of each. And just to give you an idea, this is not the cheap fish they're giving you on the pre-things. We got Thai, red snapper. We got scallop. We got salmon. We got yellowtail. We got maguro, which is the normal tuna belly that you're going to want, or tuna that you're going to want, sorry. And then we got chotoro. So Chutoro, excuse me. Chutoro is like the second fattiest of the cuts of it. It just melts in your mouth like fucking butter, and you don't usually get it on a platter, right? Like, so for me, it was well worth $90.
$90 is not a lot of money for what you just described.
No, it's not at all. And again, these prices are fantastic for the quality of the food that you are getting. But you cannot go there thinking you're going to get all-you-can-eat prices and the quality's just so much better here.
And those are expensive ingredients that you mentioned.
Yeah, the ingredients are great. Oh, man, I'm smelling this food. I got to get soon. I went to Vegas Unstripped. It was great. Bob, you went to Vegas Unstripped?
I sure did. It was like, how much can I eat in 2 hours?
Yeah. Kim,
I
you
got
didn't make
full
it this
so
year?
quick.
I couldn't make it this year. We were so busy, I could not get there this year.
Well, this was the 3rd dine around thing for me in 8 days.
Wow.
And it was fantastic. It held up against the others. I saw everybody I know. The food was really, really cool. Anthony Jameson sending out a crazy scallop dish. Bravo, but everybody was doing good stuff. We didn't set up shop there to record as we usually do because Gemini's in Europe and Rich is in Seattle, and I wasn't going to do that myself. But I did grab Eric Gladstone, and here's just a short bit of that conversation. Basically, I said, Eric, man, how do you feel about this great turnout?
Al, the turnout's been amazing, and we weren't really sure what was going to happen. And kind of in the last few days, it just really blew up, and we made another record. We beat the record, which just shows you how strong this scene is and how good the community is, and it's amazing. Yeah.
Of course, we all come here for the food, but there's also a charitable part of this. Could you talk about that?
That's correct. We're supporting St. Jude's Ranch for Children this year, who do amazing work with foster kids and underprivileged kids. And also the Mats Project, which is a really interesting cottage thing where these guys take shopping bags, plastic bags, and they turn them into mats that the homeless can use. It's really cool. They're right behind you at a table, and I encourage you to go check them out and find out what their deal is.
And okay, coming up, we have a beer report from Bob, a happy hour report from Andrew Morgan, and some news. But first, Kim's sticking around, and Chef Miguel will be joining us. Word is he might even bring some more food. I don't know. But we got 3 pieces here, so we got 3 plates here. We're going to dig into that. This is Food and Loathing. And as promised, we are back, and man, we've got the whole team here. We have Chef Miguel, we have Kim sticking around, Bob is still here. Chef, how are you, my friend?
Oh, I am doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing really well. I'm doing much better now that I've had this food. These are some great dishes you brought us. Thank you.
I am so glad to hear that.
Okay, so Bob, do you have a favorite dish? Let's start there.
I wouldn't say I had a favorite dish, but I have thoughts about each of them. That chicken is about the most tender, moist chicken I've ever had. I don't know how you keep all the moisture.
And that skin's beautiful on it. It looks beautiful. It has just the right amount of crisp. It's just really good.
And I love all the colors. You know, each dish has like 4 or 5 different colors.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm kind of a connoisseur of octopus. And I always judge it on how tender it is. That's very tender. I'm very curious as to how you tenderize it.
Very good. Well, that's I don't want to say a family trick, but it's definitely we do take good care of it.
So it's a secret.
No, I don't say a secret. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But it's got you have the kind of some of the classic Spanish elements to that. You have there's that fava beans that are on there. What kind of beans do you have?
They're garbanzo beans.
Garbanzo beans.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. But yeah, the beans, the red sauce, that it conjures up the Spanish octopus that I've had in a lot of restaurants, but while still maintaining its own character, and I think that's great.
Yes, I mean, for me, octopus, I love the seafood flavors, mix it with a little citrusy, mix it with a little freshness. When I think of octopus, a lot of places make it with a salad. I like to make it a little bit different, a little twist. So I put in a little broth in there and having the juice of the tomato and the fresh lemon juice in there, the micro parsley. I think everything mixes pretty well.
Hey, Chef, I just realized I hadn't given you any headphones. Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Okay, have you been able to hear us the whole time? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Rich, man, you got to fix that for me. Okay, so the steak. I want to talk about the steak. And this is an interesting thing. We're going to get into this a little deeper. But this restaurant it describes itself as a steakhouse. And that's, Kim, I've always sort of been like, I mean, we put you in Neon Feast under steakhouses, best steakhouses in Vegas. But it's a lot more than a steakhouse. And I'm not a big steak eater, so I don't always eat the steak when I come here. The fact that you brought me out this amazing steak really gave me a chance to really assess the way that you guys do steaks here. And I love it. First of all, it's a composed dish. It is not just you get your fucking raw-ass steak, your lone steak all by itself on the plate. You can't take a picture of it because steak's photographed like shit. And then you got to order the sides, and you got to plop them on, right? This is a composed dish. You can order this dish. You don't have to order anything else if you don't want to. It's got this beautiful broccolini under it. I don't know if there's a sun-dried tomato, some kind of tomatoes that are in there. Very, very good. To me, it has a slight Italian vibe to it. Maybe that's just the garlic or something that I'm picking up on. But it is a steak where it's making a flavor statement that goes beyond the beef without in any way overpowering the beef. And that's a rough thing to do. Bob, thoughts?
Well, I like that all 3 of these dishes, it's not one note. It's like things with it that complement the dish. So it's like there's value there. You don't necessarily need to order other stuff to go with it because you got all kinds of stuff on that.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Okay, so we've talked about the food, but I want to talk for people. I know this restaurant, I feel like the back of my hand, even though I don't get in here as often as I would love to. But, I remember this restaurant opening. I remember this neighborhood not being all that popular when the restaurant opening. Now you're just having to put up bigger and bigger signs out front in order to get people's attention. It's hopping. Kim, man, you have been through a lot in 5 years here.
It's been a heck of a ride, that's for sure. We opened, December 2020, so we just celebrated 5 years. We all know where we were and what was happening in December of 2020. So an interesting time to open a restaurant, but we did it, and there was no choice. It was already under construction. So opened up the restaurant where we've been operating now for 5 years, and where we have changed things is we've become a little more steak-centric. When people ask me to describe the restaurant, I talk about it as though it's American food, but an emphasis on steaks and chops. We are steak forward. There's no question about it.
I feel like if I were asked to describe it, I would almost go with the word chop house more than steakhouse. And I don't know why, but there's a certain, that in my mind connotates something a little different. And that's how I feel here. But I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody.
It does. It makes sense, Al, because if I would call this restaurant Main Street Provisions Steakhouse, you would walk in with a very certain thought process of what you were going to get. You were going to get that steak on a plate with nothing else, and you have to order the side dishes. We do something a little bit different.
One twice baked potato with it.
I know, exactly. So, and I love a twice baked potato.
Plenty of legitimate, of serious world-class steakhouses in your life.
17 years with a very high-end steakhouse company for sure, running all of them around the country. So it was, the reason I don't call it a steakhouse, so to speak, but we are very steak-centric, is because of that exact reason. You'd expect a different wine list than what we have. It would be more selections as opposed to the small curated list. You would expect a little bit dimmer lighting, but we are bright and lively and hospitality-driven first and foremost. So those things all kind of come together to want us to create a dish that's going to have the composition with it, that you can get that vegetable or that starch that comes with it.
So rather than a steakhouse, what descriptors would you like to use to describe your restaurant?
So we are very steak-centric. We're steak-forward, but we're new American. We are doing a great short rib. We're doing an unbelievable roasted Spanish octopus. When you think about new American food, this is a melting pot of a country, so you can grab flavors from all over the globe, and it's still considered new American.
Give us time.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, God. So, Kim, when you were thinking of, obviously, I'm assuming this is a long-time dream of yours to open a restaurant as a lifelong restaurateur. Why were you drawn to the Arts District at a time? Look, credit where credit is due. Velveteen Rabbit, they were very early adopters before anybody. And of course, James Trees came in here a little earlier than you and took a big risk, but it was still a risk. Right now, going into the Arts District, especially Main Street on the Arts District, that's no longer, nobody talks to me about taking a risk. They talk about how can I afford it, right? That's when
Where
they
am
talk
I going
about
to park?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in those days, it was a risk. What made you have confidence in this neighborhood?
So when I started looking, it was January of 2018, and James was about to open up Esther's Kitchen. I've known James for 20 plus years now. And so James and I kept talking about this little arts district. I knew that I wanted to open a restaurant. I started looking in the suburbs. Nothing really hit right for me. If I was going to go into the suburbs, I was going to be in a strip mall. No offense to people that open restaurants in strip malls, but that wasn't what my vision was.
Right.
That's not what I wanted to do. And I kept coming back to the Arts District. I love the location of the Arts District. From any part of the valley, you can actually get to the Arts District in about 20, 25 minutes from anywhere in the valley. So it's centrally located. I felt like it was going to be a great walkable neighborhood, but it was definitely a risk. I signed my lease back in October of 2018, and there were 2 restaurants, 1 small brewery, a bunch of coffee shops, and 2 bars. That was it.
Yeah.
So I jokingly tell people, but it's kind of true. That 17-page lease, every page that I initialed, I thought, please let this neighborhood do what I think it can do. And it has. And it's about 2 years ahead of what I thought it'd be at this point.
It's hysterical to me because, and a lot of this has to do with me just getting old, right? Which is a thing we all do. But, 4 or 5 years ago, I feel like I was screaming to the rooftops, to the national press, to the local press, to anybody that would listen. And there were a few other people that were early adopters. I'm not claiming it was all me. But those of us who loved the Arts District were like, I felt like I knew the Arts District better than anybody 4 years ago,
No
and now
question.
I walk around here and it has grown so far beyond what I know and what I understand. It is just taken off, and now I just feel like the old guy walking around, and I look at the little, the little 19-year-old, 20-year-old kids showing their parents around. They're here for college, and it's just such a cool vibe. I love it.
It really is. It's really developed into, I mean, as I'm looking out on Main Street right now, I'm watching people just walking up and down the street. It's just developed into this community-driven kind of venture that just is beyond what I expected it to happen, especially at this point. I thought by 28, this is where we'd be. We're here now. And I pride myself on keeping up with what's going on in the Arts District. I love to know what new bar is coming or what new restaurant's coming. There are times where somebody will mention something and I'll say, I'm sorry, what? I did not know that had opened. So it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, it's like a city. It's like a real city. It's taken on a life of its own. Those people who tried to create something in the beginning and nurtured it, thank you, and now it's growing on its own. And it doesn't, it's not for us to guide it anymore. It's doing its thing.
Well, I'm sorry, but one of the things that I truly love about it is there's so many independent operators in this neighborhood. We're all independent operators for the most part. Mm-hmm. We all have our own vision. So it keeps it that grassroots, that just, I've got a pizza here, I've got a burger there, I've got steaks over here, and everybody's got their own vision. The bars are all uniquely different.
And, no disrespect, never to speak ill of the dead and Tony Hsieh and all of that, but that was what was missing with that revitalization down there, was that it almost felt like a master plan community. In like the Fremont East thing. I mean, it was a cool master plan community. It wasn't fucking Summerlin or something, but it was still master planned. And I like when young chefs, young artists, young designers, they scrape together their money, they go wherever they can get a lease, and they just put out what they've always wanted to put out their whole life without having to check with the landlord of the entire neighborhood.
There you go. It's all passion projects, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So you have had many chefs through here, and we're not going to go through all of them. Some of them my favorite chefs in the world. What's amazing to me is that this restaurant it's a flashback to the days when the front of the house was really, to me, represented the personality of the restaurant, because you're always here. Your husband's always here. You guys make it a point, you in particular, to steer this restaurant, that no matter what talent you have in the kitchen, that it maintains a steady course, and I love that about it. Most recently, Chef Ellie Parker came out of this restaurant, and she won Hell's Kitchen, and that was great, and we were all super happy for her. I'm not going to ask you to go on the record and say whether you knew she was going to win early or not, because I don't want anybody paying a fee for breaking their non-disclosure agreement. But at some point, you realized that you were going to have to find a new chef, because your star had become a giant celebrity chef, and now she's off working for Gordon Ramsay in a kitchen somewhere. So what do you do?
So, I'm so proud of what she did here. She worked here for 3.5 years, started as a line cook. Executive sous chef was her first salaried position, and then executive chef for the last 1.5 years. And I'm so proud of what she did. She really took us to the next level. Every chef that I've had has just taken us to a different and next level in a different sense. Their flavor profiles, but
There's some pressure, Miguel.
No pressure there.
He's up for it. I know he is. But the cool thing is I just basically give the chefs a lane. Here's the lane, and now I want you to impart your personality, your flavor profiles, the things that you are passionate about. Pitch those things to me. It's a collaboration. Sure, I'm steering it. It's my restaurant.
Well, I don't know if you have anything to do with it, but it seems like all the chefs that you've had have gone on to do bigger and great things. So I shouldn't say bigger. I mean,
I understand what you mean. I absolutely understand. And you know what? I'm a huge fan, and I've always been a huge fan of seeing people realize their dreams and get to where they want to be next. My mother always tells me that she always thought I'd be a teacher. Well, I am a teacher in a sense. I'm teaching people how to get to the next level, whether it's the restaurant industry is your passion and you want to stay here, or whether it's something else. I want to go and I want to do this. But with the chefs that have been here, they have all spent time here and energy here and their talent here. So you have to respect that. You have to give them a wide enough lane where they can create. But yeah, some of them just continue to move past what we're doing here. And I love that.
So at some point you get the news that Ellie is going to be going to the East Coast.
Yeah.
did you immediately know you wanted Chef Miguel? Chef, where were you at that point?
Ooh, at that point, I was I had just closed down my restaurant.
Okay.
So I had a little trattoria in Green Valley and Sunset, and it
What's the
didn't
name?
work. It was called Pastaio.
Okay.
Pastaio Italian Trattoria. It was a project that I had envisioned. Of course, being young, being not so experienced in the.
How old are you, Chef?
31.
And you've already run your own restaurant, so
Yes.
that's pretty fucking astounding.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
know, like
it's,
I don't care if you kept the door open for more than 28 days, like you're a motherfucking success. In my book, you know?
Yeah.
No, I lasted a little over 6 months.
There you go.
It was a challenge, There's things you don't know about permits, about the city, about location-wise,
Right.
making everybody happy, such a huge part. And unfortunately, it didn't work out how I visioned it. But now I know what to do next. I take it as a learning experience, and I'm definitely gonna try again because I don't believe in giving up. I think
Right.
life is all about growth and about evolution. And so one day I was coming out of the gym and I was, on Indeed, and then I see a post for an executive chef on Mainstream Provisions, and I was like, I've been there before, but when? I've been there a couple of times. And then I remember my good friend, Chef Ellie, she worked there. So I was like, oh, God, because I had sent out my resume over to Kim. And I was like, oh, my God, let me check on her. She's still there. What happened?
Yeah, why am I
this and-
replacing
yes,
her? Yeah.
exactly. So I text her, and she's like, no, Chef, I'm moving over to the East Coast. I'm actually, we're looking for the replacement. And I was like, oh, could you mind getting me an interview with
Just speak a little louder. That's all,
yeah.
man. You know what? This isn't a professional show. I'm not giving you any hands.
Yeah.
Just a tiny bit louder.
So I was, a little worried about Chef Ellie, what's going on with her. Is she leaving? Is she staying? So I sent her a text message, and she said that they were looking for an executive chef, that she will be more than pleased to get me an interview with the owner. So that's when I met Kim. And I automatically loved her energy. I love the way she talks. She talks very passionate. She talks very, it inspired me again. After my failure at my restaurant, I was a little down. I was a little depressed. And, as soon as I stepped foot in here, I noticed the energy. I did a stash. I did a tasting. I met the staff. What really got me is that the very first day without me being hired, Kim introduced me to the staff, and she told them that I might be the new executive chef, and that she loved my tasting, and she made me feel like I was already part of the team.
Oh, that's great.
So to me, that was huge. I've never had that before. I met owners here and there, but they keep to themselves. They're not getting involved. And Kim was completely the opposite. She was just involved. She was here. She was part of the building, part of the vibe, and to me that was huge. I never met anyone like that. So I was like, wow, I really hope I do get it, because I really want to work with her, because she just gives back, to the staff.
Yeah.
I'm not saying people just take, but I'm saying that she's here involved, and she's sweating, and she's stressed with us, and and
She's not one of those restaurant owners that you get the announcement, oh, the owners are going to be in today, and nobody knows what the fuck they look like, right?
exactly. And they come
Or they're
in, they
sitting at the bar getting drunk.
they get drunk, and
Not tipping.
and then they leave, and when I saw Kim working, her butt off, I was like, wow, that's someone that I really want to work under, because one, I've never had a female boss. So to me, that was also a new experience, and that was something that I actually love. I do enjoy it, because she has not a different view, but she gives me these tips. She coaches me in some things that I'm like, oh, you know what? Yes, she's right. I need to implement different techniques, different coaching experiences with staff. So to me, that was huge.
Cool. That's awesome. How did you know Chef Ellie?
We worked together in Bread Osteria in the Venetian.
Oh.
She came in for an interview. She wanted to be a sous chef, and I was the chef de cuisine there. So I saw her. She was
So
barely.
she worked for you. She
Yes.
was under you there.
Yes.
Okay.
She was a 21-year-old girl that came in. She had a little nice suit going on. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like, I'm not gonna interview her. She's too young. But then I was like, you know what? Let's just go talk to her.
Right.
I talked to her. As soon as I talked to her, I saw her passion. I saw her value. as a person. I asked her, how do you cook a branzino? How do you cook scallops? And she described me step 1 to step 10. So I was like, you know what? Let's give you a chance. Let's bring you on board. I brought her on board as a line cook, see what she can do. And automatically, she just demolished the kitchen. She worked all stations. And you have a 5 foot, little girl.
5 foot nothing.
Yeah.
Working against 30 plus year old experienced cooks, that
Right.
been in kitchens all their lives.
Yeah.
And she was just putting the love, putting the passion, and we ended up promoting her right before I left Brera. So she stayed as the sous chef, and I moved on. So that's how that's the relationship that we created.
Right.
And look, I mean, 4 years later, here I am, and here she is, and now I come to work, and now she leaves. So it's
Small world, full
It
circle,
is.
right, man?
No doubt. And
It
I
is.
remember the day that she, I had posted that Indeed ad 5 minutes before Ellie comes in the office, and she has her phone, and she looked at me and she goes, I just found your new executive chef.
That's
and
awesome.
she was that confident.
So, Chef, how much? First of all, you've been here for about 6 weeks at this point.
yes, about yeah.
Okay, so have you had a chance to really dig into the menu, put your own dishes on it, or are you still learning your way around other people's dishes?
Actually, we just put in 2 new dishes in the menu. We put in the octopus, and we put in the potato risotto.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. Well, that octopus is fucking fantastic, right, Bob?
I loved it. Can you? I never heard of potato risotto. So that's something new.
So, I went over to New York, right? Let me tell you the story behind my potato sauce.
Yeah.
I went over to New York to help out a friend open a restaurant, and then I meet this Michelin star, super old Italian guy, that he was there, and he didn't speak a word of English, so it was very hard to communicate with him. And then he puts potatoes to cook in water, and then he puts them in the blender, and I'm like, what are you doing? You put potatoes in the blender, what are you doing, right? So I was
Right.
like, okay, I didn't say anything. He puts a little lemon juice, puts a little oil, salt, pepper, blends it off, and you have a potato sauce. And he's like, look, gluten-free, dairy-free, plain potatoes, and lemon.
Wow.
I tasted it, and I loved it. Super plain, super good, super fresh. And so when I heard that we were going to put in a vegan risotto on the menu here in Main Street, I automatically thought of the potato puree. So I infused the risotto with the potato, and you have a citrusy, starchy risotto that doesn't need any cream, doesn't need any cheese, doesn't need any butter. The starch of the potato mixes very well with the risotto and
Wow.
makes it super creamy, just like if you put butter in there. And I was just
It came in guns blazing, huh, Kim?
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
He did a similar variation during his tasting when he did his stage and tasting with a scallop dish, and it knocked my socks off. It's really good in the risotto too.
Cool. Okay, Chef, before we part company, so I could get on to news and happy hour reports and all that shit, what is one dish, whether it's your creation or just one that's been on the menu for a long time? If I come in with a group of friends, what's one dish I should not miss on this menu?
I would say the ribeye.
The ribeye?
The ribeye, yes. those charred asparagus, and you have the charred ribeye, and the opa butter. It's fantastic.
Cool.
To
Hey,
me, it's amazing.
I'm just remembering. You guys still do that short rib dumpling?
Yes.
It's like the size of a pool cue.
It looks like a tennis ball.
cue
and
ball, I mean,
yeah,
not a cue, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Cue ball. It
Yeah.
does. So we still do that. That's that braised shredded short rib wrapped in a potato dough. We do a quick flash fry and
Yeah.
the roasted shallot jus.
I love
really
that
nice.
dish, man. I
It's
love that
great
dish a lot. Happy hour is a big thing over here. It's a small menu, but it's always great deals. Tell us a bit about your happy hour.
Happy hour 7 days a week from the time we open until 6 o'clock every day. We have drink specials, we have wine specials, beer on tap at a reduced price, and then we always have 4 items. We're going to start playing around with a little bit of that here in the next couple of weeks.
Still do the slider of the day?
We still do a slider of the day. I think today it's going to be a prime rib slider with a little caramelized onion mustard sauce.
I've
a
had
bit of
that one.
cheese.
That's
It's
pretty damn good.
It's good.
I think David
yeah.
Liebner likes that one a lot,
Yes,
too,
he
if I'm
does.
remembering.
He
yeah.
wants it on a big bun.
Can I ask a quick question about the beer? About a year ago, I featured this restaurant as my local brewery champion of the month, which is for places that serve a good portion of their beer list dedicated to local. Is it? You still have a good local beer presence?
Oh, no
there?
question.
That's
No
great.
question. I think I only have 2 or 3 beers that are not local still on the menu.
You got some good Nevada whiskeys up there too, right?
We do.
Yeah.
We do. We added, when Las Vegas Distillery finally started distributing, instead of just having the tasting room,
Yeah.
we actually put the whole line on.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're hyper local. I mean,
Yeah.
it's Las Vegas Distillery. They're right there in Henderson.
No, they're a great place. Okay, I'm going to have to wrap this section up. I want to thank you, Chef. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you so much for
I know you
inviting
might be bringing more food, so that's got me a little, I'm
A little
full,
excited.
but I'm also a little excited, so I don't know. So thank you guys both. We're going to be back. We've got news. We've got a happy hour report. We have Bob Barnes doing a beer report. All of that coming up. This is Food and Loathing.
Hey, it's Rich Johnson, your faithful Food and Loathing producer. Thanks for listening. And I also want to say thanks for reading. Reading the latest happenings around the Vegas food scene at the website for this podcast, foodandloathing.vegas. That's right, .vegas. That's where Al and Gemini and I summarize some of our favorite podcast interviews and bring you some original stories as well. Also, Bob Barnes serves up his weekly dining and entertainment guide. You'll find rundowns of the Valley's top restaurants, and you can always stream the most recent episode of this podcast. So make sure to bookmark foodandloathing.vegas for dining news. And while you're at it, check our other buddy, Andrew Morgan, at happyhourvegas.com for his recommendations on Las Vegas's top happy hours.
Time for the happy hour report. I am here with Andrew Morgan. We're going to make this a fast one because we got to get back to Bob Barnes in a second. But yes, happy hour report. Andrew Morgan from happyhourvegas.com always tells us the good bargains. Andrew, what you got today?
Well, thanks to Bob, talking about some Italian happy hours. There's 50 of them across the valley. So 5-0. That's a lot of Italian happy hours. It's a lot of freaking meatballs. But Bob was saying that he went to Siena the other day. It's been a minute since I've been there. It's on the west side, on Sahara. And so I'm looking forward to going there. But from my recall and what Bob was saying, it's actually pretty damn good. They've updated the menu, updated the hours. They got some live music going on there. So it seems like a pretty good happy hour.
Okay, and this is a Siena Italian, like kind of a grocery deli, right?
Correct. It's the bar or restaurant bar. They got an outdoor patio, and then they've got the little deli and the market and everything else.
Where are they located?
Sahara, just west side. Let me see. It is 9500 West Sahara Avenue. And they have happy hours. It's a little bit complicated, so get your pencils and paper out here. Happy hours Wednesday to Saturday from 2:30 to 6:30. Sunday to Tuesday from 2:30 to close. And then 9 p.m. to close on Fridays and Saturdays. So they got a Friday, Saturday late night happy hour, which is pretty cool.
Not bad, not bad. What kind of things you get there, or what kind of deals do you get?
Oh my God. So look, this is actually pretty good. So anything starting from like $4 beers, $9 cocktails and cordials. But the real gem is in the food, right? So you're getting, it's a little higher. It's not your $5, $6 wings and stuff like that, but you're talking about $10 stuffed cannellonis, stuffed jumbo shrimps for like $15, $16. Talking about melanzane parmigiana for $12, $13. Baby lamb chops. It's like, the list goes on. It's a really, really good menu. Kitchen's always been really good there. I always like that. And now with the updated bar and the patio and the hours and whatever it is, I'm looking forward to going.
Okay, so Siena, and brand new, happy hour in the Italian realm. You want to throw out one or two other Italian places that you like the happy hours?
Oh, look, my go-to is D'Agostino's. You know, that's my favorite. It's right in my neighborhood. It's great food. Chef Dan, Downey, and Brandy are just fantastic people. You know them there. But, you know, I also like Amari. That's a great place. I used to go to North Italia a lot. That kind of got a little generic for me, but Ostia Fiorello, that's also really good up at Red Rock. That's, what's his name, Chef Vitri's last man standing here in Vegas. So it's pretty good.
Okay, there you go. I know this one was short, but don't worry. Andrew's back every single week with the Happy Hour Report. But more importantly, just go over to happyhourvegas.com, sign up for the newsletter. You get everything you need to know, and you can just browse all you need to browse. Andrew, you're going to be back next week, right?
I will see you next week, guys. Thank you.
And thank you, Andrew, for that happy hour report. But if you're a booze fan, we're going to keep with the theme coming up because Bob Barnes, we asked him to put together a beer news for us to run right here before the other news. And he's also actually gotten his first beer of the recording session. So, Bob, tell us what you're drinking and then give us the beer news, please, my friend.
I'm drinking the Tenaya Creek Big Damn Brown, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
It's a brown ale made locally by Tenaya Creek, which is now part of Beer Zombies as well.
Right. Okay, so hit me. What's going on beer news in Vegas right now?
I'm going to start with some events coming up. This Saturday is the Lee's Beer and Tequila Experience. They're going to have more than 500 beers, tequilas, and spirits. So if you really want to tie one on, that's the place to do it. And I love that it's at the Lee's Family Farm, a cheap Uber ride from where I live.
There you go.
A week later, there's going to be a beer dinner at Pub 365 at Tuscany. It's a 4-course beer dinner featuring Reno's Revision Brewing, one of the most respected breweries in the state. 595 Craft and Kitchen can always be counted on to do some really cool tap takeovers. And the one coming up on May 16th, they're doing a Three Floyds Dark Lord Day. And for people in the know,
I don't know
beer-wise,
what the fuck any of that means, man.
it has like a cult following. This brewery in Munster, Indiana. They make this Imperial Stout, release it yearly, and people just go crazy over it. But 595 is going to have their own keg of it. It's aged in rum, cognac, and Sauterne barrels, and it's a really strong Imperial Stout.
Really? So rum, cognac, Sauterne, you're going to get maybe a bit more sugar off that than you get from like putting it in normal whiskey barrels?
Oh, yeah, especially the rum.
Yeah.
So also, when I want to mention, the World Beer Cup just took place last week.
What?
That's
and I wasn't invited?
It's like the Olympics of beer.
So a drunken Olympics, okay.
It's the largest competition of commercial beer that's open to the whole world.
Where is this held?
It moves around every year. This year was in Philadelphia. Have you ever been to Philadelphia?
Dude, I grew up about an hour outside, 45 minutes outside of Philadelphia. I used to sneak into South Street during my high school days. Tell my parents I was going someplace nearby, and instead I was in Philadelphia fucking eating cheesesteaks and buying punk rock clothes on South Street.
Well, I knew that you were from that area. That's why I said that. But more about the World Beer Cup. They had 1,644 breweries from around the world.
Wow.
From 50 different countries submitted. And we had 1.5 winners from Southern Nevada. The one full winner was Mojave Brewing, won a bronze medal for their barrel-aged cider. They're the only cider. No, they're not the only cider maker here in
the
Southern
winery
Nevada.
makes cider here
yeah,
too, right?
That's
Yeah.
true. But anyway, they also won the year before with the barrel-aged cider. But this one, they were aged differently. This one was aged in a red wine barrel. And also, I said half.
So they got a bronze in Philadelphia at this world-class event.
Yep.
But they are, of course, Mojave Brewing. They're local, so I can buy that beer locally? The thing, do you know?
I think you'd have to go to Mojave Brewing to have it. I don't think they're putting it in cans or bottles.
So tell people where that is so they could go try it.
Oh, yeah. Water Street in Henderson, Mojave Brewing.
Awesome. And what was the half a win?
The half a win was, well, you remember Ellis Island had a brewery here for many, many years, like 20 years?
Yeah, and then they decided they could use the space better for
they
other
kind of
things.
outgrew their space, so they moved it to St. George, Utah. So it's now called Silver Reef, and they won a gold medal for the Idios Mio in the chili beer category.
Oh, my God.
And they also medaled for that very same beer last fall in the Great American Beer Festival. So those are the two biggest beer festivals in the world, and they medaled at both of those competitions.
That's awesome. Hey, Bob, I have a beer news question. I know you may still have some more stories, but and I'll let you get to those absolutely. But what's going on with the meadery over in the Booze District? Are they closing?
Yeah, sadly they did close. They closed
did?
about a month ago for good.
Oh, that sucks, man.
So I love that meadery.
Yeah. Okay, so no place to get mead in Las Vegas right now.
Not
That's closed.
that I'm aware of. Not that's being made here. Definitely not.
That sucks.
But
okay,
they're
sorry, I
awesome.
interrupted. I apologize. What else you got?
Oh, a couple places I went to recently. I mentioned earlier when we were talking with Kim about in my monthly beer column, which is the only beer column in Southern Nevada. But I have a local brewery champion of the month, and this month May it's going to be Beer Park. Have you ever been to Beer Park on top of Paris?
Yeah, I
Casino.
like Beer Park. I've always liked Beer Park because I think it's one of the few casual joints you can go and play like shuffleboard and still have a great view of the Bellagio fountains up there.
And right now, it's so beautiful to be out there. It's all outdoors, pretty much. They have a little section inside, but for the most part, it's outdoors. But they have more than 80 different beers. They have 10 local beers, and they even have a level 1 Cicerone named Adam Lopez.
Wow.
And in case you don't know what a Cicerone is kind of the equivalent of a sommelier for wine, but this is for beer.
A beer sommelier, yes.
So he's level 1.
Maybe
And-
you could explain. I remember when Beer Park first opened, and all my beer snob friends turned their nose up at it because it was kind of half owned by Anheuser-Busch,
Yes.
and they didn't do a lot of craft beer. So has there been a major shift over there?
Yes,
in the years?
they're no longer associated with Anheuser-Busch.
Okay.
So now they just carry whatever good beers they want to carry. But I want to mention some of the local beers they have there. They have Abel Baker Atomic Duck. They got Craft House Brewery Rebel Spirit, and the Rebel Spirit, is the only beer that UNLV says is what's
The official
word?
beer?
Official beer,
The
yes.
endorsed beer of UNLV?
Yeah.
It is the official beer of frat parties.
All right. And they have Love Lady, Love Juice IPA. They have Neon Desert Beer Park Hefe. So they actually make a beer
Wow.
for Beer Park. It's not
this is
it's not
Beer
a unique
Park-
beer. They put their name on
Beer
it. but-
Park at the Paris Las Vegas rooftop place,
Right.
indoor, outdoor, lots of good, if I remember, like hockey games that you could play in there and things to do. But really, a lot of stuff going on out on that patio, right, with the retractable roof. I'm remembering everything right?
Yeah, I don't know about a retractable roof, but it's pretty open and
Okay, cool.
great. One of the best views on this trip. Last thing I want to mention is American, which was a place over in the Link Promenade, and they closed last spring.
Yeah.
I mean, not last fall, rather.
Right.
And now they've relocated to Treasure Island. But some cool things about there. They want to have beers from all 50 states. Right now,
Yeah, I remember
right
that,
now they
right.
only have about 20 states represented, but they're going to get there. But what's cool about that I like, they have a replica of the Resolute desk that's in the Oval Office. You can sit there at that desk and have your picture taken. They got wallpaper depicting all the U.S. presidents. They got a podium with a presidential seal and a replica flag from 1864, which everyone knows is the year Nevada became a state.
Everyone knows.
Yes, of course.
I didn't know that. Oh, man. Well, thank you for the beer news, Bob. And as you were telling us the beer news, Chef Miguel just came by with 2 other dishes. And, Chef, I want to just ask you to explain these, please.
Alrighty, so first we have our house special, which is the probably number 1 selling salad here in Main Street. We have our lettuce wedge. So it's gonna be our homemade tomato ranch with a crispy bacon, microplaned boiled egg, gorgonzola, a little bit of chives, and a little bit of pickled shallots. And right next to it, we have our crudo of the season, which is amberjack hamachi. It's going to be with a cocho ponzu sauce. It's going to have sweet mayor lemon segments, a little bit of pickled green onions, and Maldon salt to finish.
Thank you very much, Chef, and we will start digging into those momentarily. Okay, now it's back to me, right? We're throwing it back to me. Did you have anything else you had to throw out there?
No, that's good for now.
Okay, good for now. This podcast is almost over, Bob. I don't want to be the one to break that to
I
you.
was going to talk about my weekly column.
Oh, we're going to talk about that towards the end.
Okay, gotcha.
Absolutely. Okay, a little more news, though, that I do have for you. Clique Hospitality is opening a new sports-themed day club called Tailgate Beach Club in the old Daylight Space at Mandalay Bay. Grand opening party for that's going to be featuring a performance by Snoop Dogg, which will take place Saturday, May 16th. And this is basically just a sports-themed day club, right? So I dropped by to take a look at it. I'll put some shots up on social media. But I did speak to Craig O'Keefe of Clique Hospitality, and he told me a bit about the place.
Tailgate Beach Club for us is the most exciting sports and entertainment pop culture venue I think that you're going to be able to view sports and entertainment at, not just here in Las Vegas, but hopefully around the U.S. and around the world.
So it's a day club that is sports themed. Is that a fair way of putting it?
Yeah, and I would say, we're really leaning into the programming of sports, right? It's kind of taken over the world, sports betting, Las Vegas for sure. Started off with the Knights. We've got the Raiders here. The A's are coming. Basketball team. We've got the Las Vegas Aces just steps away, champions in their own right. So it's an exciting thing to be doing. Quite frankly, we've got the national championship here for college football. Frozen Four is coming next year. The Super Bowl's coming back in 29. So people are all about sports. So we're going to give them a great place to watch sports, listen to music, jump in the pool, have some drinks and some food.
As a nightlife expert, I have to ask a question because I have a theory on this.
Sure.
And I feel as though all of the sports bars and all of the sports day clubs and all of the sports everything that have blown up in the past 4 or 5 years in Las Vegas never would have been possible without mobile gambling, because people are able to just sit there and not have to run to the sports book every time they want to place a bet.
I think it's a huge advantage. We will be one of the first venues where you'll be able to actually not have to go into the sports book to start yourself on the app. Normally you've got to go in and do the whole ID process in the casino. We'll be able to do it right here from the pool deck. It'll geotag you, so you'll get your BetMGM free play and all that kind of stuff as well. Obviously it's a huge convenience. We're also working with BetMGM to hopefully be putting a kiosk in here so people can, if they just want to do cash bets, they'll be able to do that as well. So
okay,
yeah.
So talk about how big are the screens in here? How many are there? What games will you be showing?
Sure.
From the sports bettor or just the sports fans point of view, what do you bring to the table here?
Well, we've got over 125 feet of screens here. Obviously, it's pretty much a 360 view of your game in action at all times. Outside of that, we'll have the sports betting lines up on the screen, so it'll keep you, in the action and invested, tickers, all that kind of stuff. To start the year, we've got World Cup coming up. We've got NBA and NHL playoffs going on. So we're really looking forward to that. Obviously, as we get into the fall major with football going on, but everything really. UFC fights, we'll be doing watch parties for not just that, but we've got some pop culture stuff with reality shows coming on that we'll do some watch parties for and things like that. So a little bit of everything.
Damn, I'm eating as we come back. This crudo is absolutely amazing. I'm not supposed to talk with my mouth full. Other news. Bryce, it's good, right, Bob?
Mm-hmm. Delicious.
So Bryce Krausman, whom we all know and love from the late DW Bistro, is joining forces with chef Gina Marinelli for what they're calling Brunch with Bryce at La Strega for the first 4 Sundays in May, and I spoke with the two of them.
We are doing a brunch series, the 4 Sundays in May, where it's myself and Bryce coming together. I think we are the most beautiful couple.
I agree. No offense to Lily.
I know, no offense to her. But I think when I think of brunch, I think of Bryce, and I think of DW, and I think of his hospitality that I've felt every time I've gone to visit him. So when this opportunity came, we were like, perfect. He's in the front, I'm in the back, and I couldn't ask for a better partner.
So Bryce, we were just saying, it's been almost exactly a year since you closed DW Bistro. It was known for its brunch, and I would say you were a little ahead of the brunch curve. Certainly in the suburbs, you were a lot ahead of the brunch curve. Strip was just starting to catch on to it around when you started it. But that being said, what made you want to come back, and what made you want to do a brunch? I mean, I would think, you had 10 years in this great restaurant, and presumably maybe you made a little bit of money. You don't have to rush out and have to do things. And now just 1 year and you want to get back into it.
Wow, that is the most loaded question in the sense that, I honestly, it comes down to it's just me and my 2 dogs and my assistant in the house working. So I miss the thousands of people that I would actually interact with on a monthly basis. And we've seen, listen, La Strega and I at DW, we share the same clients. Just about like when I come here or I go to Harlow, it's almost like before I can even sit down at the bar to grab a drink, it's almost not like the mayor, but you're doing that like, oh my gosh, how are you? It's been a while. What are you doing? In fact, because I live nearby here, Harlow and La Strega are my go-tos when clients want to see me. The bar, the happy hour at Harlow is amazing. But coming to Gina's, it's like coming home. And I feel like, because they typically don't do brunch here. Most people do it on the holidays, which Mother's Day gets folded into one of those dates in May, is making people feel special. And I think the size of their restaurant kind of lends itself to still that personal interaction, that it's not so large. It feels like everyone's walking in the door, and especially the host stand where it is. In fact, Mike, my DJ, I just pulling up in the front of the building right now. He'll be spinning. So it'll feel like that DW vibe, but it'll be like La Strega's cuisine and reimagine some DW items that she's got in her pocket.
Whose idea was it? Who came to whom and said, let's collaborate?
I don't even know. I think it was a joy. I mean, I'd been dining at Harlow, and they were doing some brunches over there. And then they called me, and Gina called me and says, hey, we think this brunch with Bryce concept, tying in with Lev Group and La Strega, would be a good fit for the community and a good fit to just get people back. Listen, everybody's looking for community. We just talked about that prior before we started recording. You guys doing Sip and Savor, I think we're always searching for community right now. Everybody's looking for, where do I feel comfortable? Where do I fit in? And restaurants happen to be always, we all know this from talking to you on prior podcasts about, post-COVID, before COVID, we were the place to go. Post-COVID, we were the place people go. I mean, I remember running to Rocco DeSpirito at the Crossroads event he did here right recently, and talking about how the restaurant is that community center. And so La Strega, where it's positioned obviously off the 215, but also very close to the communities we live in, it speaks to me.
Did you guys collaborate on the menu, and what's the menu going to look like? I understand it was originally supposed to be changed up every week, but now you've decided that you're going with one menu, I believe. So could you tell us what the menu is going to look like?
Absolutely. I think the fun thing is taking some of DW's classics, not trying to reinvent them, because that's what I think DW is known for, and I want to leave those and let them be nostalgic and everything. But, we're going to do the New Mexican pork chili pizza.
Yeah. Reimagining ingredients, from the heritage of Dalton's New Mexican and Jamaican past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll have green chilies on a burger. We're going to have caviar service, A5 carpaccio, Bryce's scone, so I'm very excited about that. Great Bloody Marys. We're going to be doing a stuffed 1-pound lobster. So I just think it's really like a nice twist on brunch, La Strega, and DW all together.
Cool. So now details. Gina, tell everybody when it is, how much it is, how it's arranged, and where it is.
Gotcha. So the first two Sundays are already sold out. So the 17th and the 24th, we just opened up. So you can go online and book, go to La Strega's website, go to Open Table, and then everything is a la carte. We'll be doing brunch cocktails, we'll have our wine program, our champagne program, and the menu is also online.
Star Chefs, which is this national organization that goes city to city and they honor chefs. And last time I remember it being here was literally 20 years ago. I'm sure they've been here since then. I remember Brian Ogden being honored. But anyway, Star Chefs has announced the Las Vegas honorees as 2026 Rising Stars. They're also hosting their own restaurant week, May 6th through May 20th, which is going to offer you the chance to experience a lot of these chefs. I'm just looking at the list of winners. Scott Arn and Rampton Raptor from Golden Boy Market and Deli, our friend Dylan Jacobs from Esther's Kitchen, Aaron Lee of Winnie and Ethel's, Daniela Romero of Bizarre Meat, Jackson Stamper of Ada's. So, you got the whole James Trees team rolling out there. Pastry chefs, we've got Jackie Mai of Don's Prime. As a baker, we have Andrea McLean of Poppin' Pies. Game changer is Sarah Thompson of Casa Playa in Wynn, Las Vegas. Love her food. Restaurateur DJ Flores of Nivell Hospitality Group. We love him. Congratulations to all of you. Community. We've got Alex White, Cameron White, and Danny White of Yukon Pizza, and they have done a lot for the community. Some of it controversial from time to time, but that's okay. We don't steer away from controversy. So, look, congratulations. More. Best concept. That's going to Jared Howard of Vesta Coffee Roasters, who I think he thinks I never throw him enough love in this place. It's only because I really don't drink a lot of coffee, but Vesta's amazing, and Jared is amazing, and it is amazing to have him being honored. You agree with me there, right?
I do, and I think at least one brewery has used his coffee in some of their brews.
I think they have. Bob, we got a brewer being honored. Megan Hanley of Able Baker. You know Megan?
I do. I've actually written about her for Brewer Spotlight some months ago.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to you, Megan. Bartenders, we've got Joe Arakawa of EDO Hospitality. Yeah, I love Joe's awesome, and you sit at the bar sometimes, and you eat and you drink, and it's fucking great over at EDO Hospitality. We've got Kat Kalma of the Dustland Bar, and Kat's kind of been everywhere recently, right? She's making a big splash. I remember her at the picnic in the alley, and I think I just saw her at Women's Hospitality Initiative, and she's everywhere. She's really cool cool person. Congratulations to her. Sommeliers, we've got Joshua Dunson of Ocean Prime. We have, I know, I told you this. This is why this thing's going to go so fucking long today. Christy Norman of Delilah, love Delilah. And the Mentor Award going to Jolene Menina of Fortune Events.
That's very...
As far as I'm concerned, Jolene deserves every award in the world, but Mentor seems like a really appropriate one.
Yeah, I mean, all that she did with the Vegas Test Kitchen years ago, and that's really missed, by the way.
How you enjoying this food Chef brought out?
Oh, my God, I love everything.
Cool. I'm looking. Oh, yeah, no wonder I don't have notes on that. That was my awards notes. I'm like, what did I have? I got nothing else to do. Soul Belly Barbecue's opened its new location at the Miracle Mile Shops. I got to say, pretty good barbecue for a food court. I would check it out if you're ever on the Strip. And that is about it for this week. If you want to read more of Bob Barnes' work, you can find him over at adcook.com and at gaio.com. But, Bob, you do your weekly thing at foodandloathing.vegas. What's going on in this week's column?
Well, I just want to say real quick that the weekly column is my pride and joy. So that's what I spend the most time on.
Well, it's our pride and joy.
And what I love doing the most. So in my column this week, I have my pick of the week, which I talked about earlier, the Siena Italian, Trattoria and Deli. I mentioned the Indian Food Festival on May 2nd. The all-you-can-eat tuna and wagyu experience at Omakase Kiara Sake Bar on May 2nd. Spring tasting event at Wino on May 2nd. Man, there's a lot going on May 2nd.
I told you, I actually ran down a lot of these at the top of the show. Yes. We have the same list. But yeah, May 2nd, which is tomorrow, I think, as this podcast drops. A big fucking day. If you cannot find something food or beverage related to do tomorrow, that's your motherfucking fault, not mine.
And I also talked about Cinco de Mayo celebrations, Baracha and La Neta Cocina and Lounge. And I wrote about Mother's Day brunch at La Madre Canyon Kitchen on May 10th. New lunch specials at Eureka, La Strega Sunday brunch series with Bryce Krausman, which we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, we just heard from them.
Pink Box Donuts has May, but they picked two holidays to do special donuts for May the 4th and Cinco de Mayo. And lastly, I talked about the 30th anniversary celebrations at the Strat, which start on... it'll have already taken place by the time.
It'll have taken place. Okay. You got to read Bob every week. It drops every Tuesday. Bob covers more news every Tuesday than the rest of us at foodandloathing.vegas cover all month. So Bob's is like the key. He is the cornerstone of news at foodandloathing.vegas. So you really want to check that out every Tuesday. Usually by the end of the day, it's up, right? We don't have an exact time, but
usually in the morning.
In the morning? Okay, cool. So other than that, you can hear me at Highway Drive Radio Networks and read some of my work at LasVegasAdvisor.com. Get more happy hour news from Andrew at HappyHourVegas.com as well as LasVegasAdvisor.com. Bob, man, thank you so much for co-hosting.
My pleasure.
Kim and Miguel have wandered away, but thank them so much for hosting us and for feeding us. This food's great. You loving that crudo, man?
I love everything. Yeah, the crudo tastes so fresh and so bright.
So fucking fresh, man. Really good. Thanks to all of our guests, Craig O'Keefe, Gina Marinelli, Bryce Krausman, Eric Gladstone, Vincent Rotolo. You guys have all been great. I'm scribbling off that last one because I don't think I found that interview. I'm Al Mancini with Bob Barnes on behalf of Gemini Stevens and Rich Johnson, wishing you good eating and hoping you always stay hungry.